Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video. And today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Hand Ninja from the Stilt-Man Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have the Hand Ninja displayed in the front window with his accessories and the Build-A-Figure pieces. Down at the bottom we just get the Marvel logo and then the name. On the side we do get some artwork here of the Hand Ninja, and that is going to be the same artwork on both sides. On the back it's going to expand on that artwork and we can see that he's wielding some of his weapons. Then we do have a quick read-up. Skilled in martial arts and espionage, the ninjas of the hand are a force to be reckoned with. Then we have all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Stilt-Man Build-A-Figure. At the very bottom we have the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that, let's get this open and take a look at the Hand Ninjas. And here is the Hand Ninja outside of their packaging. And yes, I did snag 3 of these. They are a army builder for sure, and something that Marvel Legends fans have been wanting for some time. In fact, some people opted to get the Articulated Icons Red Ninja to kind of fill that gap in the meantime. And probably several might not even really worry about swapping out the ninjas that they got if they army built the red ninjas from Articulated Icons. Those were good figures. As far as these ones go, they're pretty decent so far. I do have a few minor gripes in the articulation department, which I'll go over when we do our closer looks, but overall, I think Hasbro finally recognizing that fans do like to army build, and maybe we'll see the Hand Ninjas come out in the $15, single pack of Hasbro Pulse exclusives, so that way anybody that does miss out or has a hard time getting these regular releases, maybe they can release those like they did with the AIM Scientist and the Hydra Trooper. So only time will tell on that. We do get some decent accessories with this figure, a combination of hands and weapons. Starting first with a set of open gesture hands. And then you do get a pair of gripping or weapon-holding hands, along with here the first set of weapons that we have, which is a pair of commas. And they are decently painted. No real complaints here. They came out looking all right. Yeah, I like them. And then we also get a sword package with the Hand Ninja, and it came out just fine. I mean, no real complaints there. Decently painted, pretty basic sculpt. Hilt has a pretty simple design to it as well. And then that is going to have a sheath in the back, and slides right in, no problem. So you do get weapon storage, at least for the sword. And finally, you also get the Build-A-Figure piece for Stilt-Man, which is going to be his legs. And I love that Hasbro gave us extensions for the legs with the Hand Ninja so that you can army build and improve your Build-A-Figure while you're at it. And then it also comes with this stand for Stilt-Man, which is great as well. You see we have a couple different ways to be able to place the feet, so that should help keep them nice and sturdy. Now, when standing straight up, the Hand Ninja comes in at about 6.5 inches tall, which makes them about 16.5 centimeters, so they are going to be your average height and fit in just fine with your Legends collection. But since we already looked at the accessories and the Build-A-Figure pieces, let's go ahead and just jump in here and get a closer look at the paint and sculpt detail on the Hand Ninja. And getting up close here, we see a pretty standard head sculpt for what we would expect with a hooded character. We get the mask sculpted in, and you do get some good fabric wrinkles and things like that sculpted around the mouth. The eyes came out pretty decent. You do have that little bit of a glow to them, and the eyebrows and everything looked like they were painted okay. So don't really have any issues there with the head sculpt. I think it looks fine to be a ninja. The hood is going to be glued on, so you cannot take that off. I kind of wish that you could, though. I don't know, it would add some variation to the army build, that you would have maybe even the kind of like what we got with Gwen, where you have like the hood neck piece, and then we would just have an unmasked or unhooded version. So that is a bit of a disappointment, but it's not the worst thing that could happen. We can see here the neckline is a separate piece, so that is going to be glued in, and it looks like we get a little bit of flashing right on the front, so that's unfortunate, but not too distracting. And then looking at the rest of the outfit, I mean, it's decently sculpted. It's going to look like your traditional ninja garb, and you get a lot of sculpted detail for the fabric lines and things like that. So I don't really have any problem with the sculpt either, other than some of the limitations that it presents to the articulation and even just posing. Like, that's as far down as I could get his arms, so they are going to be outward. Not that that's a huge deal, but I always like it when you can move the arms around. We can see here the belt that goes across his chest. We have some weapon storage for things that we can't take out. So we got some ninja stars. You get the silver paint on the ninja stars as well as the buckle. And that's, again, decently sculpted with texture and everything. And then looking at that sheath up close, yeah, I mean, nothing too remarkable. Around the arm, you get a little bit of a band there with paint that looks like it aligns pretty well. Going down to, so the open gesture hands came out looking good. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really have any complaints looking at the sculpt work here. It's all very baggy looking, so I like the sculpted wrinkles and things like that. That came out really good. I like you get the little, trademark that you see with the ninjas, how you kind of have the toes there separated out. So the shoes, or whatever they're called, the ninja shoes, came out looking good. So, I mean, overall, it's decent looking. But now to get to the articulation, some of the limits of this sculpt to it. So the head turns around just fine, can look down pretty far, and can look up. Oh, man, let's see. That one's kind of tough. Yeah, it looks like the hood is hitting, so that's about it. And that's kind of one of the reasons why it would be nice to have a no hood version as well. And I am kind of noticing like the gap there with the hood. I don't know how I feel about how that looks. I mean, it's not that bad, I suppose, but yeah. You have arms that can come up, I was going to say a little past 90, but not much past 90. You do have a butterfly joint in there, which is pretty decent range. It gets a good amount forward there. One of the downsides to that, though, and this is one of the limitations, well, maybe it was just one of the other figures. One of the figures, when I had the butterfly joint forward, I couldn't really rotate the bicep. So maybe I had a figure that can go deeper. Yeah, so this one must have a deeper butterfly joint. Oh, no, I just wasn't moving it all the way in. There we go. Yeah, so you can see that it's going to kick that butterfly joint out when you move the bicep. So that's the first problem. The next one is when you look at this elbow, the upper portion of the pin is only going to give you enough range to get basically one click out of that portion of the hinge. And then, of course, you have most of your motion here with the forearm piece. So you don't really get a full elbow articulation, and in fact, if you move it just by this piece, you can see that we're not even bending it there. I kind of had to support and pull in order to get that, and it doesn't really even add much to it. So that would be my other gripe, is the elbow and the bicep sculpt seems to be getting in the way of both the butterfly joint and the elbow joint. All the hands have full rotation, and I do want to point out on the weapon holding hand, you're going to have the regular flexion and extension hinge on the left weapon holding hand, but you do have a radial and ulnar type of articulation here on the right hand. I just really wish that they would have done it on both hands. It seems kind of silly to me that they didn't give us that same articulation on there. Looking at the diaphragm joint, you get good motion there. You get a little bit of side to side, a little bit forward, a little bit backwards, and then you can see that in addition to the diaphragm joint, there is an ab cut style joint down here, but because of this piece, it doesn't really add a ton. You get a little bit extra on the back end going backwards, but not a whole lot of extra range going forward. So that's good that they included it, and it does add a little bit, but this piece of the outfit here kind of gets in the way. Legs are going to come apart about that far. Kick forward, not much. Backwards, not much. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed knees, that's not bad. Boot cut, and then you do have a hinge and ankle pivot. And that is going to do it for this review, everyone. So overall, I think that this is a decent addition to an Army Builder lineup. We have the AIM troopers, we have the Hydra troopers, and now we have some hand ninjas for more of your street level type of henchmen, if you will. And they're not bad. There are some areas that they could have been better, that's for sure. And I'm speaking specifically to the bicep sculpt that is causing issues with the shoulder joint and the elbow joint. And I just wish that they did the same ulnar and radial hinge on the left hand that they did on the right hand for the weapon holding hand. That would have really made a huge difference. And I suppose I with something that's an army builder, I like to have the idea of more variety so that they don't all look exactly the same. I mean, I know like with the Hydra troopers, they're going to look the same, but at least when we actually got the 2-pack release of both Hydra and AIM, we had a different character in there and we had a bunch of accessories to make them different if we wanted to. Unhooded version or a hood down version of the hand ninja would have been pretty cool to be able to get, or even just maybe some different weapons. I don't know, the sword is fine, the kamas are fine, but maybe just one more weapon type just to change things up a bit and make them a bit unique so that you don't have, especially if you're buying a bunch, so you don't have a ton of hand ninjas that are all holding either a sword or kamas, just to, like I said, spice it up a bit. But anyway, that's really all I got for it. I still think they're pretty cool figures. I'm happy to have them. I'm more than likely going to stop at 3 and just be happy with that. But yeah, let me know. I want to see how tall the tallest figure is. I think currently the one I saw was like 8 feet that someone posted. So that's pretty tall Stilt-Man for sure. I don't think I'm going to get him that tall. But anyway, that is it for this review. Make sure to hit that like button if you like it. Subscribe for more content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching my video, and have a great day.